So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between home and southern Ohio the next couple of weeks, and my goal is to hit all the tree stands, especially the new areas that we developed, to make sure that everything's okay, the straps are good, the stands are safe, and if anything's needed, branches needed to be cut and so on. Hopefully I'll see some deer in the process too. Okay, it's a couple days before Halloween. It's 81 degrees right now, which is a little too warm for hunting. I don't know if I'll see anything this evening, and then I don't know if I'll want to shoot anything unless it was a huge monster, just because trying to keep the meat cool afterwards. We'd probably have to scramble and go into town and get some ice or something. As far as I can tell, I don't think the rut's really started. I was here last night, and it's a little bit more encouraging. My previous hunts, I didn't really see much at all. I kind of stayed in this spot once or twice. I went to a couple other spots, and really I got skunked every time. Didn't really see anything. Still nice evenings and everything. It was still warm at the time. I was concerned that maybe that having the blue blind here kind of spooked the deer out of the area for a while. But yesterday was encouraging that I did see quite a few. So I saw a couple does here and there. I saw a little spike wandering around. The does did not have anybody tailing them yet, so I don't know if it's still too warm. The situation is with the rut or the chase. I was also a little concerned that maybe their patterns changed too, because we've had quite a drought down here. Things are very dry. In fact, my little trip up with the UTV was very dusty. If I stopped for 1 second coming up the Widowmaker, a big cloud of dust was right on my tail. So it's very dry down here. A lot of the creeks have dried up, and I kind of wonder if that changed the deer, their pattern around here. If maybe they're staying closer to a larger stream across the street, and everything else is dried up here, so they really don't have too many water sources, which normally they do. Again, seeing them yesterday was a little bit of encouragement. Hopefully we will get some rain down here. After Halloween, I'm going to come down and hopefully the rut will be starting, but right now there's really not a lot of indications of it. But you never know. I mean, one moment I could sit in this stand for 10 times in a row and not see anything or nothing notable, and then out of the blue, some monster comes out that you didn't see before. So there's always that chance, but we'll keep trying it out. We're getting a water drop today. Supposed to be here sometime today, and they said they're going to come after 6. And I tried to ask them to come maybe before I go hunting at 3, but they said they'll be here after 6. So I might have to cut the hunt short to meet them down there. I haven't had a water delivery in a while, but I did have to call well in advance because they are that busy right now. A lot of other people that live down here full time, their wells are dried up, their springs are dried up, and they're pretty busy right now with the water deliveries. Just a quick update. I'll probably see you down later when we're getting the water. If there's any big deer to speak of, I'll show you that too. If you pay attention to the tree that looks like it's growing out of my cap, it seems to have leaned over and was hitting the tree the next time I came up here to hunt, and it was a little disturbing. Made me nervous because there was a little bit of a breeze, and if for some reason the top of that should let go, it would come and hit me right as I'm sitting in the stand, and it's got enough meat on it that it would knock me out of the stand or even knock me out. Needless to say, I kept a close eye on it the whole time I was up there. I came up here a little bit early because last night I noticed that there was a tree leaning against where we have our ladder stand over here. I was a little bit paranoid about it. It's perched in a way that if the wind just blows the right way, or if the tree decides to just finally give out, that it would probably fall right where you're sitting in the ladder, which could be pretty detrimental. So I was wearing my harness last night, making sure that I kept an eye on it, but it was making me a little bit nervous. So I came up here a little bit earlier today and see if I could pull that tree out of the way without making too much of a disruption, so I can still hunt up here this evening. I really don't want to use a chainsaw because it's going to make too much noise. I'm going to start by just getting a rope around it around the base, and then if I climb up on top of the ladder, I can maybe cinch it up there and have enough height I can pull the tree away. Okay, got the rope attached here. I did it from the ladder stand. Just go down now and pull the tree away and try to set it down somewhat gently without hitting our blind, without hitting this ladder stand, and without hitting the UTV. As I'm pulling, it's really not coming away from the tree, it's just pivoting and staying cradled in there. Away from the ladder stand, but still not safe. Alright, not exactly how I pictured it, but it's down. I won't be paranoid when I'm sitting up in the tree later. Okay. Now, it was great knocking down our old cabin and rebuilding this place, especially on a comfort level. The old cabin had a lot of mice that got into it. It was a chore trying to keep on top of things because we're not down that often. But down here, we've had a little bit of a mouse issue. Now, they're not in the living area yet, but they're awfully close. And they're over up here. Heard them and seen some mouse poop. And this is not mouse poop here. That is just some mouse poison that I have poured in there. When we leave, I got a little bit in there. Came here one day, turned this light on, noticed a bunch of debris up there, and that's when I first noticed that there's probably a mouse issue. Now, I'm not positive exactly how this vent works. If there's a space in between the roof or the ceiling and the roof area, they're infiltrating from somewhere else part of the roof, or they're just coming right down where the vent exhausts out onto the roof. I inspected that, and it didn't look that bad. There might be a very, very, very small spot in the screen where they could be slipping in, but it's not very big, and I know mice can squeeze into the smallest areas, but I'm kind of wondering if they're coming from somewhere else. So I want to see if I could take the borescope up here and go to the fan area and just see if there's a breach in the piping that goes up to the vent. Now, I just put this tape on here just to make sure that things didn't get weighted down and that the lens fall out, and then the mice would have access to getting into the living area of the house. No signs in the house, but it's just been in this vent, In fact, when I was sleeping a couple times, I heard them making noise through here, and I ended up turning the light on, the fan on, and that kind of spooked them. I did have the solid pieces of mouse poison up there, and they pretty much disintegrated a block of it. And then this is all I had left over, so I just put that down on the lens when we were away from the cabin for a while. I don't know if that's like a little flap there. I can't really tell. It opens and closes with the fan. So it looks like if I do take it apart further, maybe I could stick some steel wool up in that gap. I could also take the scope and try to go all the way up through the roof. It can't be that far up because this roof is not that tall on the outside. So I'm thinking I would only need maybe a foot tops to get up there. So. Okay, so I'm sitting here in the new stand that we set up earlier this month. Don was here last week and he didn't see anything, but it was still kind of fresh. We still had disturbed the area quite a bit. And then further on in the woods back this way is another hill that comes down. So it's like 3 hills that are coming together. And then there's basically an old access road in front of me that gave access to an old abandoned gas well that was here. Basically, it's just a little pipe sticking out of the ground now. Come here, I parked the UTV a little ways down there. I actually brought Starlink with me. I got it mounted on the roof of the UTV, and I can still stay in contact with people if I need to. Gives me something to do if it's going to be a boring evening. It's a little breezy. I took care of some other stuff on top of the hill this afternoon, so I thought I would come here. I haven't been down here. I'm almost thinking we need to put a feeder or something around here, and I'm just trying to figure out the lay of the land on where we should put it. Just to increase some traffic. It really does help if you maintain them and keep them going, especially if you get them set up back a few months before hunting season starts, but it never seems to be the case. We always usually get them up and going right around the start of hunting season. It's been very warm since I've been down here. I've been down here about 3 days just by myself, and the weather's been gorgeous. It's been about mid 70s to low 80s most of the time I've been down here. I didn't see anything. Evenings have been cool. I sat here one other time and didn't see much, but that was still early in October, and it was pretty warm out. It's still kind of warm out today. It's about 70 degrees. But typically when I sit on top of the hill, especially where we put that new blind up there, I have been seeing deer, and usually they come from the bottom of the hill, and that's where we're at right now. We're at the very bottom of the hill. This backside comes together. There's another hill in front of me comes together, and there's another hill back there. So basically 3 hills are all coming together here. Little creek behind me, and I got a couple little paths that lead out to the road. We've seen deer back here before, just kind of walking around, and a couple guys hunted in this area last year and they saw deer. And there's a lot of signs for deer. We'll see how this area pans out. It's a nice little spot. It's probably better for bow. We might need to bring something that's going to entice them a little bit better to come into this area, especially in the daytime. So I don't know if we would look at getting a feeder maybe, or something to increase the traffic over here. It is a nice area. It's easy to get to from the cabin itself. You're basically all by yourself over here. The road is out that way, probably about 1,000 feet. So you can hear road traffic now and then going by. I don't know. This might just be something we have to cultivate over time to increase the traffic going through here. But we'll see what happens this evening. All right, after our water delivery a couple weeks ago, everything is looking good. The water is clear. The water level has not changed at all. We don't appear to have any leaks coming in or out of the tank, so that is great. So I just got here. I'm loading up the UTV. I'm going to head up on the hill. It's 2:37 right now, so I still have a couple hours of daylight, but there is a front coming in, and you can't see it, but it's coming from this direction. It's going to drastically change the way the weather is here. It's 65 degrees right now, but tomorrow they're calling for snow flurries. I want to get up there. They're calling for 45-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know if the deer is going to be moving with that type of weather. Maybe once after this front gets through around 4 p.m., I'll have some better luck seeing stuff up there. But I'm in a hurry right now, so I'll see you when I get up there. we definitely have some visitors coming up here at the clearing in the evenings, at least I think in the evenings. So there's some buck activity around here at least. So the front is coming through right now. I'm glad that I'm not sitting up in that tree stand. Saw quite a few branches falling out of the trees. We'll get through here shortly. There's some more branches falling down. Definitely felt the temperature change here. It was 65. I gotta say it's probably around 50 or 50 degrees right now. It's gonna cool off, go down in the low 30s tonight. It's about a week before Thanksgiving, and if I were these guys, I wouldn't be this casual walking around the woods right now. The weather really dictated that the best place to be was inside this blind, and it also gave me a few things I needed to take care of in here. So I added some nails to hang things up, some screws. I tested out the Mr. Buddy heater, and everything seemed to work good. I can maybe use a shelf in here though. Also maybe a mat on the floor to keep down on some of the sound when the chair's moving around, and also absorb some of the water. All in all, it's quite comfortable though. That is going to do it for today. We'll be back when gun season starts in a couple weeks. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click that like button, that helps things out. And click on that little bell if you want to know when a new one is coming out. And don't forget to keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody.